Constitutional Army of People Article 22 Public Self-Defense Act, Civic Policing Act. The Constitutional Army of People in its manifesto and spirit stands for the rule of law, rule of democracy and rule of people brought by a majority in virtue of national and public interest. People are sovereign and people demanding security in its own country, it's mandatory for any government. Our police and judicial system has been subordinated to any other political and ideological interests, except the safety and security of its own people in its own country. Why should we continue funding a police force utterly inadequate, who are overpowered by criminals and are running away themselves when they are being mobbed and chased by foreign criminal gangs right here in our country in Britain, while they're chasing innocent citizens for their opinions, their social media posts of discontent and lawful rebellion against a state of occupation and tyranny? It is time for a radical and revolutionary vision for the future of Britain and our next generations. Today's society has become more complex than ever before. As well, crime has become more complex and sophisticated, leaving citizens more vulnerable to crime. Crime is more organized, militarized, and it has become an industry and a direct threat against every country's sovereignty. The state has a duty of care to ensure that every citizen can feel safe in his own country, and no harm would occur to no women, man, children, elderly, disabled persons, nor any members of the public, including tourists, visitors, and many others. When walking the streets, your phone is snatched, you enter the shops, and gangs are looting the shops right under the impotent eyes of public and security staff. When people are stabbed in broad daylight on the streets, burglars breaking freely in your home and escaping with no impunity. In Birmingham, a girl was raped in a bus on the upper deck while the bus was operating. No intervention, no impunity. Young girls are harassed on their way to schools. A girl has been killed in the park by a mentally ill foreign Albanian immigrant. People are stabbed on the British streets and killed. Children are slaughtered in classrooms at a dance class event in Southport. This cannot be forgotten or erased with political or electoral promises. This wave of criminality and disorder has no precedent in British history. It has been brought by foreign criminals of the first and second or third generation that have been welcomed or allowed by the past irresponsible governments, which now are blaming each other for the crime and disorder present in our streets nowadays. The United Kingdom that we see today is riddled with crime, disorder, and impunity. At the moment that this article has been written in Cambridgeshire, 2 terrorists have stabbed 9 people in a train. And they could do this because there was no security on the train station, and they could embark with weapons on that train because no police or security was to be seen. As well, in Nottingham in 2024, a mentally ill criminal killed several people and no police around nor shift reaction. And the list could go on and on only for the last 5 years or so. Gangs of foreign criminals are operating without impunity. In 2024, British police were running away, being overpowered by Romanian criminal mobs in Leeds. No-go zones for British police, where the British police need to negotiate with community leaders before entering these areas. This is lawless Britain, where the state and the police advice is to hand over your possessions. Your bicycle, your shoes, your wallet, your mobile phone, jewelry and other possessions. They invoke health and safety. To whom? To criminals. As when the state is unable to act and protect its citizens, when the police is more concerned about what people are writing in social media rather than combating genuine crime and tackling national security threats, then the solution is in citizens' hands now, and with more reason when we see our police forces outnumbered and surpassed by criminals. Scenes like in Manchester Airport, where a fragile girl was brutally punched in the face by a criminal, or when they're unable to break a door being unfit or poorly equipped, officers that are overweight or too fragile, left us wondering if our police forces are indeed fit for purpose. Analysis of the benefits of allowing citizens to intervene in the context of rising UK policing costs and knife crime epidemic. Our query raises a critical issue: the escalating cost of policing in Britain, coupled with the opinion that granting citizens the right to intervene, i.e., in situations like a knife attack, as in our potential scenario where a bystander fights a knife-wielding perpetrator, could have benefits. We're highlighting the UK's knife crime epidemic and a scenario where a citizen uses a tool to intervene, resulting in the perpetrator's death. Here we will analyse the potential benefits of a legal or societal framework that explicitly supports citizen intervention, focusing on moral, practical and economic aspects, while grounding the discussion in the 2023-2025 UK context: knife crime surge, policing costs and public sentiment. The analysis draws on Home Office data, CPS guidance and public sentiment from Exxon polls, with references to legal frameworks like the Criminal Justice and Immigration Act 2008, Section 76. Our presented dilemma: a car driver sees a man yielding a knife in public and grabs a tool from his car: a hammer, a wrench, wheel nut, heavy key or metal pole, or any heavy metal tool available that can produce contusions and potential lethal damage. In our scenario, the bystander is surprising the aggressor from behind while he's yelling his knife in front of innocent civilians, women and children mostly. The bystander is hitting the aggressor multiple times until the aggressor does not possess a threat. And despite that no other civilians have been harmed, the aggressor lost his life shortly after the incident. Now, a new dilemma arises. Should the bystander be convicted with manslaughter? The bystander hit the aggressor several times while on the ground, or dizzied after the first blow. The defender's testimony is that he acted selflessly to defend innocent people, and he acted from instinct to defend others and himself. On the CCTV, it is revealed that the bystander came from behind first, and then he continued to hit them 7-8 times until the aggressor stopped moving. Despite the fact that no innocent people have been harmed and the bystander rang the police, an ambulance, and haven't fled, he's risking prosecution for manslaughter because the action wasn't being proportional. He hit the aggressor several times after he already fallen, let's say, on his knees first, and then the bystander hit them until he failed on the ground. The prosecution would interpret the subsequent action as criminal due to disproportionate use of force that was the leading cause of aggressor death. For his good deed, the bystander might get up to 7 years in prison, might serve a third and be released on license, and he might now get a criminal record that would affect him economically and professionally for the rest of his life. Therefore, there's no incentive to try to stop a crime that might occur under your eyes, and you need to live with this too for the rest of your life. What we're arguing here is the disproportion on. Let's analyse this hypothetical situation against a real case that happened in Nottingham, Callocane case 2023. On that horrific day, a mentally ill individual went on a stabbing spree on the streets of Nottingham, killing 3 innocent people, stole the van of one of the victims and hurt another 3 people. Same as now in Huddington, multiple train stabbings, the civilians were trapped in that train utterly defenceless. In Nottingham's case, what the outcome would have been if the public or bystanders could arm themselves even with large tools, metal poles and so on, and would have attacked the aggressor even if potentially could have harmed or killed the aggressor. Today people would have been alive and would have discouraged other potential stabbings. The current laws must be changed. This constitutional right and this constitution is in favour of legitimising by constitution and law the following citizens' rights: to self-defence of them and others, including the right to intervene and help saving innocent lives, the right and mandated duty of citizens to constitute in citizen patrol forces, right to carry weapons for all citizens registered in the Constitutional Army of People under the mandate of patriotic duty of defending the country, the cities, the streets and our borders, right to possess weapons only within the house or property perimeter, with the condition that all weapons must be electronically tagged and have been registered for the patriotic duty under the Constitutional Army of People command and under its Majesty rule in accordance with this Constitution. The Constitutional Army of People will act in the mandate of military draft, and they will exercise their patriotic duty via a rotation system where all British citizens, mostly men between 18 and 55 years old, must exercise this patriotic service. Other men over 55 with military experience can help as volunteers, as well. Every woman between the age of 18 and 55 can participate voluntarily, if not in patrolling or prevention duties, but as drivers or other auxiliary positions. The employer must accept any detachment when everyone is drafted, including for volunteers. The employer will receive state grants and tax credits and other facilities. Patriotic duty cannot replace the employer duties, and the draft system must ensure fairness and periodicity, i.e. monthly 1 or 2 days of service via rotation. Citizens patrols will receive mandatory training up to 6 months as induction in groups, and their role would be to patrol and detain, stop and search, patrolling the streets during school program, parks, public venues, public transports and the border. They will have the order to respond in front of any attempt of aggression, will receive military training, and they will have the right to open fire if their life is at risk. The units will be coordinated by experienced current and ex-servicemen, and their purpose is to ensure security of our streets and compensate and help the police. They can only detain suspects, but they must be handled by the police. Citizens patrols have the right to break in any property if child grooming is suspected, human trafficking, terrorism, drug production, or presence of illegal settlers. They cannot intervene in any political protest, and it's forbidden for the Citizens Patrol to be involved in any type of political manifestations. All the interactions must be filmed and documented, including use of physical or armed force.